So in Britain, you guys drive on the left side of the street? That sure is peculiar, huh?
When at least our schools are not a shooting gallery, mate!
So what you call chips, we call French fries. Wow, that is wild.
Funny you would say that, coming from the guy whose children are getting slaughtered in school.
What do you call cigarettes? Ooh, we couldn't use that word for cigarettes. No, that wouldn't really fly here.
Laugh it up! At least our schools are not like the Call of Duty video game where people are being shot to death with guns.
So in Britain, you...
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. So, if you hadn't heard, and you probably won't hear, there was a shooting in Tennessee. 2 or 3 days ago now?
Yes, 2 days ago now.
Yeah. So now again, people on the left will not see it this way, but the media has been pretty hush hush about the shooter and his motives, because the shooter was not straight or white. So we know that whenever a killer is white, they will drop that information immediately. Like when we knew Kyle Rittenhouse he was white. You know, we knew that. We knew the kid that went in and shot that black church. We knew he was white. You know, they dropped that immediately because they want that racial narrative. But this shooter was black and had a really strange outlook on life. Very strange. But they were quick to release the fact that he followed Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is kind of like a white nationalist type guy. And Candace Owens is obviously Candace Owens. She's, a conservative black lady. And it's just strange. But he also followed some radical far lefties, too, like Hassan Piker and Destiny. And they named a bunch of other people I'd never even heard of that were on the left as well. But Destiny and Hassan are very, very far left radical. Like, I mean, Destiny, he celebrates the death of the people that died at the Trump rally. Assassination attempt.
Yep.
He goes,
Butler, Pennsylvania.
He was like, I will make fun of the people that died there. You don't deserve to be mourned for. That's the kind of people we're doing with. But this black kid had a very strange life. Like, he lived in L.A. and said that he got bullied by Hispanics and other black kids. Mm-hmm. So he was an outcast in his community and didn't feel like he had a place, I guess. So, there were people asking him on his live stream, and he was responding to them like, "Why are you doing this?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm doing it for me, man." So he did not have an ideology. He did not have an ethnic preference. He was just he was just an outcast, and I guess he wanted the world to feel his pain. I think he only killed one girl.
Yes, there was one girl shot, and besides himself, like he self-inflicted.
Yeah,
and then there was one boy that got injury to his arm. He got a gunshot injury, like a grazing shot to his arm. And there was one other kid that had a face injury. It sounded like he fell down or ran into something, or just the stampede of people. It could have got ran over.
Yes, I mean that's the a lot of times people get killed in getting trampled to death. So it's chaos, and that's what this kid was trying to do. I think he was just a kid who felt lost in society, didn't feel like he had a place, which is obvious. It's like he wasn't accepted by the black community. He felt bullied by the other black kids at his schools that he was at, and he felt bullied by the Hispanics. He said he got robbed and mugged by them pretty regularly. So just a weird scenario. And again, they're not going to talk about it. They're not really going to bring anything else up about it. They're going to be like, well, we should maintain privacy. And again, the mainstream media is they're not going to bring up anything about this. Like, I mean, they said that they got their ties. They go, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes. Yeah. We got our ties. We got our links. That's all we're really going to make known nationally.
This story disappeared the moment we figured out the race of the individual.
And again,
committed this.
This like, remember when we were talking about I had a quarrel with somebody on Facebook. It's like when they won't release when they say the shooter has unknown motives, or we don't know anything about the shooter, and it has that picture of J.D. Vance. This is what we're talking about. But again, people on the left go, no, the media is being charitable. They're getting out the information that they have available to them, you know. But it seems interesting. It always seems interesting. And this is where we're coming from. This is from obviously our bias and our conservative perspective. But they always know everything there is to know about the white people the minute they're done. The minute it's out. Even if
the only exception to that is that Butler shooter, the kid that was the shooter, like he had his social media platforms professionally wiped.
Yes,
you know there's an FBI, someone from like Langley, Virginia, like the FBI like administration building would regularly, there was that cell phone thing that said he would regularly go to his house, which is very strange. So there's a lot of questions that are unanswered. That's the only one that you could say, because we knew everything about that one guy that tried to shoot Trump at his golf course like immediately.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. And again, this is why we talk about media bias, and why whenever we have, like I said, when I had that Facebook conversation with that guy, it's like I don't even understand the perspective from which you're coming from. Like, but again, this is the world I consume, and this is what I see in media bias. And they go, and they're under the assumption that the media wouldn't lie. The man on the TV wouldn't lie to us. So anyway, we'll push on to the next thing, which was we're talking about that. So that's what's going on. You're not going to hear much about that shooter.
Yeah. Which I'll do this first meme real quick, but it just reminds me of what's going on in Europe right now. It's like they have Sherlock Holmes over here. Egad, another one. If only we could deduce a pattern. Then in the scene, the crime,
Muslim
terrorist with a knife. They go, look, there he is. You're under arrest. Couldn't resist returning to the scene of the crime. They're arresting the knife, not the individual.
Again, yeah, we found the pattern. It's knives. Again, and remember, they banned knives in London. And that, you know, that one guy, that I don't remember who it was, but there's the top comment was Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, you know, again, Muslim mayor of London, was like, we don't need knives for anything in London. He goes, that guy commented back, yes, because I'll butter my toast with my dick, Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But next one, kind of be relevant to what we were talking about. The other strange thing that's happening, which brings us to our title, Strange Times, referring to the strange motives of the kid. And then this female pastor that we have here, or whatever she is, priest, bishop, whatever the heck she says she is, which I don't buy it at all. Like, you know, no, I think this is why true Christians really have a hard time, like, allowing women to be pastors and stuff like this. This woman got up on the stage at a prayer service for the president
and just
berated him.
Donald
scolded
Trump.
him.
Yeah.
Like, that's not your place. That's not your place. The logic of this is if a priest was berating Barack Obama or Joe Biden,
people would have lost their mind.
The left would have lost their minds. Like, this is not the place for that. Like I said, but for whatever reason, the left and the media, whenever somebody else does it to a right-wing person, oh, this is the time and place. I'm so glad. She's so brave.
But you know, and I saw on Reddit, you know, they posted there was a post on Reddit that said, "This is what a real Christian looks like," and it was a picture of her. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous." Yeah. Again, but we live in the age of affirmation. Your sin is not wrong. Your sin needs to be affirmed. It needs to be confirmed. Like, we affirm you. It doesn't matter if what we're affirming is wrong, bad, or evil.
Yeah.
We affirm your lifestyle. We affirm your decisions, even if they're sin, even if they're wrong. Yes. You're okay just the way you are. You're not.
Well, that's the problem. It's like you can't take out the parts of the Bible that you don't like. That's what she's doing. Like, there is no mention of trans or LGBTQ people in the Bible.
Other than what Paul says about them, and what he says is not very nice.
Yeah. And then what's funny is that's what I was talking about. Is like, we know gay priests and preachers or whatever you want to call them that will use Paul and cite Paul's words, and like, you're taking Paul out of context. You're taking Paul extremely out of context.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just pull out certain quotes of the Bible that in a whole chapter that dismantle that argument. You can't just pull out little tiny passages and go, look, this is my point, when the whole chapter is actually going against that point that you've just pulled out.
Yes, again,
and that's what they do regularly. You can't pull out. It's like pulling out all the marshmallows out of your Lucky Charms and saying, this is my breakfast cereal. It's like, well, not really. You chose marshmallows over the whole cereal.
Yeah, that's true.
But brings us to this next meme that I have pulled up. Says, burning the American flag is free speech, but burning the pride flag is hate speech.
Yes, again, the contradiction is unbelievable. Again, you can burn the American flag on American soil, but if you burn a flag that represents what many of us believe to be a sin,
And completely goes against our religious
and
code.
again, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. So, I mean, again, that's a hate crime. Like, if I hung a flag out here on this office building and burned it, and people in Owasso saw it, they would probably be losing their crap over it.
Indeed. Next one I have pulled up here is defund Wikipedia from Elon Musk. He reposted Arthur McWaters. Wikipedia is completely ideologically captured, deserves $0 in donations until they rebalance. Mentions of political extremism in the English Wikipedia. Far left, only about 4,000. Far right, over 14,000.
And again, Stephen Crowder, Louder with Crowder, did a very good breakdown of this. He had an actual doctor go in and start editing. A medical doctor went in and was editing articles, and the wiki warriors on there, the moderators, would go in and go, "You don't have enough credentials. You're not a wiki credentialed person." And then he'd be like, "No, I'm a doctor. Here's my doctorate, and here's my field of practice and my field of study." And they're like, "Sorry, you still don't have enough credentials to be making these edits." It's like, who are these basement-dwelling wiki warriors that are like, "I have the credentials"?
Yeah. They're the gatekeepers. This is what we talk about when we talk about who's fact-checking the fact-checkers, especially when it comes to something like Wikipedia, which everybody uses. We weren't even allowed to use Wikipedia as a citation in college. You could go to Wikipedia, look something up, but you had to go to the source that Wikipedia was citing. Yeah, exactly. So, wild. Missed our Gladiator review yesterday. You can check it out. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and just proof that the Democrats are just we're sick of the Nazi stuff. I mean, it's sad.
It is the most overused.
Call the MAGA supporters Nazis. Call Trump a Nazi. Call Elon Musk a Nazi now. You guys are just crazy.
Yeah, well, the problem is people don't look that far back in history. No one thinks of the history as America's revolution, standing up to the crown, standing up against taxes. They don't want that to be our origin story. World War II is the new American origin story for the left. History started at World War II, and defeating Hitler and the Nazis was the most important thing we ever did. It's I don't know about that. I think standing up to the crown, creating the Constitution, creating the Declaration of Independence, standing up to the crown, people actually putting their blood and lives and treasure on the line to create something new. But they don't want that to be our origin story because that's not good for. They don't want freedom. They want enslavement, effectively.
Exactly.
But they would have said we should have stayed with the crown. They would have been the Benedict Arnolds.
Yeah, you said. Yeah, there's a meme about that. It's same douchebag, different era, and it's it was the Benedict Arnold of, we need to support the crown, tax is okay, and then it's the liberal we should ban guns. Like I said, same douchebag, different era.
Yep.
So next one I have pulled up here is the pink hat feminist people or liberal supporters. Got one of Hillary Clinton doing the salute, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris. To show Elon Musk, they lose their crap.
Yes. Again, this is why I say Jon Stewart ruined political discourse in this country. Again, I remember watching Jon Stewart back in the day. He would they'd do the rewinding thing where somebody would be putting their hand out like this to wave, and he'd rewind it and fast forward it like this. Look, we knew it. This Republican was always the Nazi, and it's just this. And again, it's funny, but that is what political discourse devolved into. Mm-hmm. This right here, that meme that Chad just showed.
Yep. Next one I pull up, this is Washington University. Antifa completely controls a whole section of it. I don't know how far back ago. I don't know if this is recent or not, but these guys come in and they start
since the election.
It is okay. Then then these guys are getting attacked. Now, granted, they're getting in people's faces and they're trying to interview them and ask them, what's going on. But of course, as per always, the Antifa, really truly brown shirt, type kids coming in and strong arm them out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I said, this is why we should defund the college system as it is, because you're not creating useful people for society. You're creating
activists.
Protesters and activists that literally are going to be bums. They're basically acting the same way homeless people do. Set up a bunch of tents and we're going to sleep outside and crap in buckets, basically.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to go crap in buckets. I'm going to go into the library and use the restroom, guys. I'll be back. These people think they're huffing it and they're toughing it. They're not.
Mm-hmm. Next one I have pulled up here. Woke parents won't spank their kids, but they'll cut their genitals or their nuts off.
Yeah. Again, a society that doesn't protect children is not a society worth saving, folks. And again, we're told that because we don't want to lop kids' body parts off, because we want them to grow and develop and mentally mature before they make these decisions, we're monsters. It's like a kid can't get a tattoo, but he can cut his nuts off at the age of 5. I want to be a girl, Mommy. Oh, okay, perfect. Well, let's get you surgery scheduled. Can I get a tattoo that says I'm a girl? No, absolutely not.
Yep. And which brings me up is like they say that it's genocide for us to deny trans rights and gender affirming care and all this. These people are so happy to forget that Biden administration locked up pro-life people who went outside of a pro-life abortion clinic and prayed in front of it, and these people were arrested. We have the footage. I've got so much stuff of this lady finally being released from jail. But here, check this out.
So did y'all hear about this? No, you didn't hear about it. You know why? Because it makes Trump look good. They don't want anything to make Trump look good. Trump pardons pro-life activist Beverly Williams, who was imprisoned by the Biden administration for protesting outside abortion clinic. This lady been in prison or in jail all this time. Kamala didn't make a peep about this. She didn't talk about it in her speeches. All she wanted to do was bring out Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla to twerk and give Beyonce all y'all money that y'all donated. I ain't talking about y'all, but the people who don't like my videos, the ones that come over here creeping like roaches and come and tell me about myself, tell me I'm not black enough. Well, she must have been black enough for y'all because y'all didn't even care about her being locked up. Well, now she's free. Thank you, God, and thank you, Trump.
Boom.
The non-racist president.
Ladies and gentlemen, that couldn't have said it better myself. Like, where's BLM's outrage for a black woman being locked up for praying? I mean, these are godless Marxists. They do not care about the black community. They don't care about you. If you're black, BLM does not care about you. They care about weaponizing narratives against the system, against the government, against white people.
Yeah.
They don't care about coming together. They want you separated. They want you separated, isolated, and alone. They want their black identitarian groups together, and they'll only allow their white helpers in, but they don't really trust them. You know, that's the what's the other guy's name? Not MLK and Malcolm X. Malcolm X's philosophy, the right liberal is like a fox. You know, you cannot be trusted. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and it's true. I mean, the whole point of all of this is these people are the people who attack Christians on a regular basis, but the moment that a Christian kowtows to, you know, their ideology, then they'll go, "This is a good Christian. This is the Christian
again,
that we want."
It's the same as that gay bishop lady. This is what a real Christian looks like. A real Christian doesn't tell people that they're sinners. A real Christian doesn't. Yeah. I mean, it's like don't cast judgment. It's like he who lives without sin cast the first stone. But we can point out what sin is and tell you that this is wrong and bad for society. I mean, that's all laws are. That's all. The 10 Commandments. I mean, that's judgment. If you disobey the 10 Commandments, you are living outside of God's will.
Yes. I mean, yes, but just coming back to that, it's like you can't pick and choose. And two, that my whole point about that was these are the people who attack Christians on a regular basis, and it's the same thing as the Constitution. It's like they want these documents to be completely amendable at all times. Like I said, Christianity has been like a rock or a foundation, same as the Constitution, that's keeping the country and keeping the religion afloat. And they're like, well, it has to be able to change. Like I said, no, it's been pretty much the same since its inception. Same with the Constitution. But the people who want to be able to manipulate and change stuff at will are the people who are telling us these are the good people.
Yeah, again, these are the same people that, like, so the BLM and these Marxists, like, when they use Bible verses to justify black identitarianism and black supremacy and black segregation, those are the same arguments that people justified slavery in the South. Oh, slavery's okay. This Bible verse says so. You're doing the same thing, BLM. You guys are evil. But again, they're godless Marxists, and they don't care about truth. They only care about power. Remember, what did James Lindsay say? According to their ideology, the only way to correct for past discrimination is present discrimination.
Future or present discrimination. That's correct.
So that's their ideology.
Next,
evil.
Next one I've pulled up here is from the New York Times. How labeling cartels terrorists could hurt the U.S. economy. What a strange thing to say.
What a strange title for an article from the New York Times. Guys, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, like, these people traffic humans, drugs, across the border every day, make millions of dollars doing it, maybe billions of dollars doing it, and the New York Times is saying, well, it's a bad thing to label them terrorists. Like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Next one I have pulled up is going back kind of the TikTok, man. Should I try TikTok? No, the Chinese will spy on you. And then the FBI is spying on them.
Yeah, anyway, they're spying on the conversation, yeah. There's no winning around here, folks. I mean, I don't know. I guess China can get some interesting data and be able to sell your data in China, which isn't good, but still, the FBI is still spying on you, too.
Next one I've pulled up. When you're a Democrat and it's been 5 minutes since you've called someone a Nazi.
That's true.
Next one. I love this one too. It's Gavin Newsom. A touch of forest mismanagement, a dash of resource misallocation, and a dose of DEI incompetence. Oh no, it's climate change.
Again, they will take anything. They will blame it on everything except taking responsibility and accountability.
Yeah, the people that say trust the science, same with that, priest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Said trust the science. Female, male hips, female hips. Said male genitalia, female genitalia. No, not that science.
I mean, we've known this stuff for a long time, but for whatever reason, the last 10 years, we've decided that men and women are the same, and they're interchangeable.
Yep.
I mean, I remember talking to doctors that we went to TU with, and they were like going, this transgender science stuff is very interesting. Like, we're on the cutting edge. And I'm just like, cutting edge of what? Just cutting off body parts? Why is that, like, cutting edge technology? I remember having this conversation
because they're cutting it off.
Yeah, with people I went to TU with and then went to medical school. And I was just like, maybe it's because I didn't understand the cutting edgeness of the I'm just not smart enough to get like why it was interesting, but they were just chatting away about it, and I'm just like, to me it just sounds nuts, like literally nuts. They're cutting nuts off, that's it. So, I'm the uninformed, redneck liberal in that group of friends, and it's just like
I
not
went to smart enough
school
to be in our club, in our exclusive doctors club. You don't understand.
Yeah, you don't understand. Like, we are doctors. We went to college for 7 or 8 years to understand that transgender surgeries are the cutting edge and the future of medical technology. And I'm just like, okay. I guess maybe my values, I can't appreciate that cutting someone's nuts off doesn't change who they are.
Mm-hmm. Next one I have here is an education exclusive. Jewish groups give Trump admit list of pro-Hamas foreign students, faculty to deport. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
after we see what's going on in the UK right now, I'm 100% on board with this.
Absolutely. We know what Islam's goal is. We know what Muslims' goals are. Are there Muslims who live here, nominal Muslims that live here peacefully? Sure. But there's the end goal of Islam is to convert or kill the world. Period.
Yep. 100%. Next one here. Another Stone Toss comic. He's literally a Nazi for real this time. And then he's got an Elon Musk tweet on there. And it says Martian colony, so it's colonialism. Mm-hmm. And then you've got a libertarian wearing don't tread on me, clearly a MAGA supporter in a red hat, and then a Christian wearing with the Bible. It says, quick question, are we Nazis too?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the ongoing joke right now. It's like, who isn't a Nazi at this point?
Yeah. Unless you are a far left Marxist, everyone to the right of you is a Nazi.
Yeah, and if you're left, everything's right of the left pole.
Oh yeah, this referring to the DEI programs and stuff going on, and all this stuff. Like, when people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment feels like discrimination. Thomas Sowell.
Yeah, I mean,
Thomas Sowell.
One of the greatest political thinkers of our time, started off as a black identitarian Marxist and then became Milton Friedman's greatest student. Mm-hmm. Again, love what he has to say, and we've been talking about that on the show for a long time. When you're treated the same, when you're given preferential treatment, and then all of a sudden you started being treated the same as everybody else, it feels like oppression.
Yep. Next one from Libs of TikTok. Federal agencies are changing titles and job descriptions to get around Trump's DEI ban. Whoever is caught doing this should face legal actions. I 100% agree. But yes, there is a bunch of this going on. They're just changing it from DEI director to like some sort of executive director or something like that. So basically, they basically have to keep a job that they're not going to be able to perform.
Isn't it amazing how quickly, whenever you're someone's paycheck's on the line in government, that they can change? Like, you would think it would take a while and a lot of bureaucratic paperwork to change a title, but apparently these job positions can change their titles overnight, and no one bat an eye. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I mean, that'd be like me going from like sales position to I'm the CEO now. It's like, how'd you figure that?
Yep. Here is that lady that's getting released from prison right now. The one that was praying in front of the abortion clinic. So I found this later. So that's the problem. I find all these stories, and you get just more and more stuff pops out of it. Here she is with her husband and her child.
A black lady standing with Christ and going against the narrative of the world. Like, black women, you need abortions. And she's the one black lady going, no, we don't, ladies. Like, we need to accept responsibility. Mm-hmm. We need to raise our own kids. We need to be good mothers. And you know what? You know what that gets you? Locked up in Joe Biden's administration, locked up under Kamala Harris. I want to be a productive member of society, and I want to fight for the rights of the unborn kids.
And how does that not make you bring a smile to your face, her being reunited with her family, her daughter?
Family. Oh, my God. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Anyway, another one of these trust the science ones again. I love these. Yeah. Not that science.
But, I mean, if you go back down real quick, I mean, this... No, go down more. So that's like living proof that Christians, you know, like Christ is right. You know, if they hated you, they hated me first. I mean, you're going to be persecuted, Christians, and that's how. And not, I mean, shame on us as Christians. Not like this is the first I've heard about this lady. Mm-hmm. I mean, we should have been picketing. We should have been raising money. We should have been going down there and saying, "Let her go."
Yeah, especially for something as.
I mean, we should have been like Moses. Let my people go.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for something as silly as that, like literally praying outside of an abortion clinic.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, you can go up and keep going.
Next one here is that strange setup that they are talking about, like with they kept saying, like, there were no FBI agents on the ground. This guy is clearly an informant. He has a radio. He tried to pull off that panel, and then that guy stops him, and then he starts blaming that guy for doing it, and he starts pushing him.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a Fed. I'm not part of the. I'm not a Fed. Look, it was this guy that tried to stop me from pulling off the window.
Mm-hmm. Weird.
So, and again, this is the stuff that the Democrats and people on the left will look at and be like, "That's not suspicious at all. That's just a Trump supporter. Of course, he's going to be violent and crazy. Of course, nothing he does is going to make sense."
Next one I have here, speaking of transgender stuff, my 14-year-old transgender son took his own life after telling us he's no longer wanted to be a girl. This is Noah's story from Mail Australia. Yeah, so imagine that, like crazy moms forcing their kids to be transgender because they want to be the talk of the office or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is narcissism by proxy of mom. Mom wants a transgender kid, so by God, she's going to have a transgender kid. You know, you're not a boy's boy. You're mommy's boy.
Yeah, we keep bringing it up, but Michael Malice says there is no altar that liberal white women will not sacrifice their children on to be popular.
100%. I mean, again, it's the way women interact with their kids. Like, you should want your kid, like, that's why, it's you have to have a man in the house. It's like daughters always end up wanting to marry their dad or marrying a man like their dad, someone who they know that will provide, protect, provision them, love them. Like, we all grow up hating our parents, and all of a sudden we realize our parents were right about everything. If you have a good family, if you grew up in a good Christian household.
Yes.
And I don't know. And then you have these toxic single moms who just, want to be the talk of the town. It's all about their ideology. It's all about being the next it thing. It's like, this is why women follow the culture. Women get, what was in Sodom and Gomorrah, what's his name's wife turned around. Lot's wife turned around. It's because she couldn't let go of the sinful life that she had been a part of. Mm. She fell in love with the culture. She fell in love with that, with the worldly things in that society of Sodom and Gomorrah. She could not let go. And guess what? She turned around and turned stone. That is women in a nutshell. Yep. It's men too, but like I said, women are more worldly because women what's the way they have to be more worldly because they're
more social creatures than men.
Yes, like I mean, guys, we can live alone, die alone. That's just how we are.
Guys can go off into the woods and disappear and be fine. And
Speaking, this is actually a good point for that Simpsons meme.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
that's funny. Actually, that is up there. Where is that one?
Yeah, so this is
there. It is.
Yeah, so pull up the Simpson memes real quick, and this is what we're talking about.
I want to be a lawyer and a doctor because a woman can do anything.
At 24, Eleanor had graduated from Harvard Medical and Yale Law.
Your Honor, I'd like to request a continuance so I can go deliver a baby.
I love babies. I'll allow it.
I'm a little burnt out. So, sometimes, don't shoot me. I have a glass of wine with Buster here. He's a real comfort. I might even get a second cat.
She's the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Right, that's not far off from reality, though. I mean, that's what it looks like. You know, it's like at the end. I mean, it's like what the lady who wrote Sex in the City said the exact same thing. I wasted my life.
Mm-hmm.
I should have had a family and kids and been married. Instead, I glorified my Sex in the City lifestyle. And now I'm old and alone and don't have anything to show for it. I don't have family.
Your kids, that is why your kids are your greatest creation.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids are your legacy.
Again, it's why gay people and transsexuals and all these other people, they're overrepresented in the arts. It's because that's their legacy, their art. Like they're going to be remembered by whatever it is they produced in their art.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? The rest of us won't be remembered that way. You know what we'll be remembered by? Our kids and our families.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you will be forgotten. Like, I mean, I can't tell you my great-grandpa's first name.
Yeah.
I mean, they said that in a class. It's like, what can you tell me your great-grandpa's first name? And, like, most kids can't do it. But, I mean, again, that's why I wanted Chad to show that, because it was really just a good personification.
Very, very relevant. Yeah. Next one is teachers. I love how these female teachers think that they are so freaking tough. They get on TikTok or whatever and be like, you're not going to take my students away. And, like, as soon as the police come in, like, they're the women who first, like, collapse onto the floor. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, assault. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but these teachers are posting these videos saying that they're not going to take away any of my students, you know, and this is crazy stuff. Check this out.
ICE can now raid classrooms. And as a high school teacher, I just want to make one thing clear. If someone tries to come in my classroom and take one of my students, one of us isn't leaving the classroom. Play with me. ICE can now raid.
What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to fight them. Oh, okay.
And here it is, another one of the pro-life ones. 6 pro-life Christians were convicted by the Biden DOJ for praying outside of an abortion facility in Nashville. Pardon them all. Yes, agreed.
Why are people getting in prison for praying? I thought we weren't the UK. I guess we are the UK.
When it comes to Christians, yes. When it comes to punishing Christians, yes.
I want you to think about this for a minute, folks, if you could lower the volume on that. I mean, as beautiful as it is. It's like that Ian Miles Strong video where that guy's walking around the campus and those left-wing protesters are being violent and attacking rival or, you know, differing political factions from coming in. This right here is beautiful. This is how Christians protest. They pray, they sing, they ask for God's forgiveness for these people, these women and these people going in there and murdering kids. And then these are the people that are going to be locked up. It's like, this is wrong. Like, how dare you stand outside of an abortion clinic and pray? Mm-hmm. It peacefully protest. And like, not like, wow, we hate you, rah, rah, rah. It's like they're praying, and it sounds angelic.
Yeah.
You know? But that's what right-wing oppression looks like right there. That's evil.
Next one is this cartoonist, another, you know, liberal cartoonist, this person thinks every brown person in America is an illegal immigrant. And it's true. It's like, look, Trump and his wife are waiting for their dinner, and the maid, the cook, and the server have all been arrested. And just like, this is what liberals think. Liberals think that any person who has a job that's beneath them is going to be an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's like
illegal immigrants can only be these jobs, these low-class, you know, basically slave labor jobs.
Yeah. It is absolutely disgusting. It's I mean, it goes to show you that liberals are actually racist. Like, they don't think that brown people can have any other jobs other than cooks, house cleaners, and freaking dishwashers.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one I've got a better one of this. But this Haitian guy with 17 convictions yelling "F Trump, Biden forever." Why is it that criminals praise the Democrats? I always ask this. Why do criminals vote for Democrats? It's because Democrats favor criminals, or they have policies that are favorable to criminals. Yep. Why do you think that people surge the border under Democrats? Why does all this stuff happen under Democrats? This is crazy stuff.
Yep.
And Democrats don't have an answer. It's like, oh, it happens underneath Republicans too. Yeah, but not as much.
It's not encouraged. You know, Biden said, surge the border. We welcome immigrants with open arms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's funny. Said, did you know what it doesn't say in the Constitution? Give up your rights to appease some crybaby liberals.
That is true. It definitely doesn't say that.
But that was my point earlier, talking about, they want to be able to amend the Constitution on a whim. Same with the Bible. Like, we need to change these outdated documents.
But this is why all Democrat policies and all left-wing policies cater to women. They cater to emotion. It's like, show the picture of AOC crying at the border. Show the picture of the woman, holding her baby at the border, going, "Will my daughter be a citizen?" It's
funny,
like, no.
Funny you bring that up.
Yeah,
I have a video for that.
Okay, so again, they're emotionally manipulating you. Throw away your rights and throw away the laws of this country for the 1% of these people that are desperately crying. Show a picture of a crying woman and her kid, and you know what? Forget about borders. We don't need it. There's a lady crying at the border. Borders must be bad.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? This guy found out the information about that lady at the border.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey guys, I just want to point out that the entire story about this migrant woman crying and wailing because her appointment got canceled because, Donald Trump hates everyone. Just like to point out that her supposed appointment was for Monday. Anybody want to tell me what Monday was? Yeah, it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which coincidentally is a federal holiday. Federal workers do this weird thing on federal holidays. It's called not working. Yeah, she didn't have an appointment on Monday. Nobody would have scheduled her an appointment on Monday. And even if they had, the reason it was canceled is because it's a federal holiday and nobody was working. So yeah, the entire story was made up. Not to mention, they've actually used this exact same woman in multiple immigration ads. She is an actor, and the rest of the internet could have discovered this with like 2 minutes of research. So this is just your daily reminder that you don't hate the media enough.
Holy shite.
I told you you'd like that.
Crisis actors. I guess we should just expect it from here on out, because it's like the White Helmets documentary. All those kids and people were crisis actors. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore. So this is crazy. Thank you for whoever did that TikTok guy. Good job. Like, holy cow. That is flabbergasting. I'm pissed now.
No, you should
I
be.
don't hate the media enough, apparently.
You can't hate the media enough. You really can't. The media is nothing but lies and propaganda from the government. Next one I have pulled up here from Libs of TikTok. Another community note win. Bank of America serves more than 7 million clients, and we welcome conservatives. We would never close accounts for political reasons and don't have a political litmus test. Bank of America. It said, community note. Bank of America has been placed on notice by 15 states' attorney generals for debanking conservatives. Your discriminatory behavior is a serious threat to free speech, religious freedom, and potentially illegal, and this causing political and regulatory backlash. Kansas AG Chris Kobach wrote.
Community notes for the win. Holy cow, folks. Like,
this is why the left is terrified of community notes versus fact checkers, because fact checkers can be controlled and bought and paid for, whereas community notes is the internet autists that are out there finding the truth.
Yeah, it's like you have some random guy. No, that's not true. I was totally debanked. Community noting,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is the problem with community notes. The freer the speech, the more lies and media manipulation get called out. This is why the Democrats and big government officials are terrified of Facebook doing the exact same thing with their community notes. We can't control the narrative anymore.
Yeah, you got these left-wing programmers who are just like, oh man, we can shadow ban Chad and Corey's Facebook page. We can shadow ban all conservatives. We can take away their ability to type vowels.
Yeah.
Like, think about that, folks. The ability to not be able to type vowels, and you just have incoherent sentence structure. Mm-hmm. So That's what we're talking about. And now you don't have those people. They can still do that. Like, I'm not telling you, I don't think Zuckerberg's going to stop his. I don't think he's going to investigate his team.
He's just going to wait for the next person to get into office because he's a guy that's going to be bullied for the rest of his life. Like, hey, Zuckerberg, we'd appreciate it if you'd bring back the fact checkers when the next Democrat gets in. He's like, you got it.
Yeah. So, again, this is what we're talking about here, folks. Like, I mean, this is awesome. Yeah. So,
next one I have pulled up is a fetus a person? An anti-abortion strategist says yes. And then, very next article here, an undocumented woman asks, will my unborn child be a citizen? Why is her unborn child going to be considered a citizen if it's born in the United States, but it's not a person by the liberal democratic standard?
Yeah, again, they will change their perspectives on life on a dime based on convenience, political convenience. That's all it is. Yeah.
Here's another teacher talking about how she's going to check ICE at the door or whatever. Just all these teachers. Now, this is the big one that I was trying to get to all day. This is Bishop Mary Ann Budd advocating for cheap slave labor in her $1.6 million D.C. mansion. I thought she decried the glaring disparities between the rich and the poor. You can't make this stuff up. So, for all you liberals who say that, she's the perfect representation of a Christian, you better shut your mouth about all those TV evangelists that live in their $1 million mansions now, because she's one of them, and you just praised her. But she's a good Christian.
This is what a good Christian looks like, folks. She affirms sin. She lives in a $1.6 million mansion in freaking Washington,
the most tax-heavy state city in the union.
She's a church leader. Hers tax-free. She's tax-free.
Exactly, but that's my point. So it's okay when she does it, but if you make fun of any other TV evangelist...
It's okay when our political allies do exactly the same thing that we complain that other Christians do. They're good. She's a good guy. It's okay when she does it. It's not okay when... and again, most Christians don't really like the big TV and evangelical Christian guys. Like, we realize that those guys are selling dreams and lies, and they care more about their paychecks than they do about spreading the word.
Yeah, like, what's the guy that we watch? I forget his name. Mark Driscoll.
Yeah, Mark Driscoll.
Went to that one mega church or whatever, and he berated it because they had sword swallowers.
He's like, "What is this?" Like, he goes, "This does not. A Jezebel spirit has taken over here. I don't think that this is what God wants you guys to be doing." And that guy kicked him off stage, said, "You need to leave." Mm-hmm. And that's why I like Mark Driscoll. The guy stands by his convictions. Like, and again, Christianity should not be. Look, I want it to be the most popular religion and the religion that everyone turns to at the end of the day, but the things we do and say should not be popular. Like, people will scold you for it because, again, we're not an affirmation religion. We're not an affirmation. Like, it's a relationship between you and Christ. You're not supposed to be affirmed in all of your sins. Like, well, it's okay. I'm addicted to porn, and that's okay. Like, no. Christ wants you to overcome that addiction and be better than that.
I'm addicted to meth. Liberals, that's okay.
That's okay.
No, it's not okay.
Jesus still loves you. It's like, you're right. Jesus does still love you, the sinner, but he does not like the sin. He does not like you justifying it. He definitely doesn't like it. Church bishops justifying sin either and going, trans people are people and need love and respect. And if you don't love and respect them, you're not a Christian. What are you talking about, lady?
This is that lady making herself her own God. Like, I determine what's right and wrong in the world, not this holy book that we're supposed to be following.
Yes, and again, this is why you talk about the Catholic schism. It's like why the Protestants separated. It's like, I don't think I trust everything you have to say, sir.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, next one. This is the one I was looking for. This is a great one. This is that guy that criminal that's got 17 felonies or whatnot getting arrested, and our borders are now is going to give his 2 cents on it.
I love it. Let's do it.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti.
Let's go, baby. I love it, dude.
Love it.
He's a pimp, man. I love this man. He's so awesome. Whenever I liked him whenever he went against AOC. He goes, legal asylees are not criminals. Mm-hmm. He goes, if you come at the border at the port of entry, that's fine. You are a criminal if you come across to the border illegally, though.
Yep. Next one I have here. Not once did Trump try to sniff J.D. Vance's kids. The corporate media. Vance's kids must smell terrible.
Oh my gosh, that's good,
dude. That is funny. I
That's
didn't read the bottom part. That got me
Oh
too.
my god, that's bad. That's bad.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. Here we go. She says, this is from Libs of TikTok. Received this from TSA agent at the airport in Colorado. He tells me that they were instructed to remove all DEI signage from their operating areas within the airport following Trump's executive order. He filmed them shredding it.
I love it. I love it. Get rid of it, man. We don't need DEI hires. We need people who are the best person gets the job, period.
Yep. I love this. This is a great comic, and I don't know. It says wokely correct. I love this person needs this makes some good stuff like parents meeting, quote, put your you know what in my mouth. And all these blue-haired feminist board, school board members are like, sir, you can't read that pornography here. But you can read it here. It's only for children. And so it's not okay to read it at a school board meeting, but you can read that junk in the classroom.
And how many times have we showed videos on this channel of kids and parents going into PTA meetings, reading those words, and then police officers coming up and escorting them out? You can't read that here. But it's in the library. It's in a public school library. Like I was like, and like you had a little kid reading one time. I was encouraged to check this book out, and then the librarian said, "You want a graphic novel version?"
I remember as a kid, like the first time we really ever used computers is probably about the time that we were like preteen. We're probably about 11 or 12, and there was a guy that pulled up like a dirty picture on the computer, and the first time I'd ever seen it, and he got yelled at so hard. Whereas now they get encouraged to go check these books out. Now,
yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember they took out the Sports Illustrated had a swimsuit edition in there, or like it was like a Sports Illustrated magazine for like they had like the pages of like the swimsuit edition were like being marketed inside Sports Illustrated, and I remember that the schools took that out. They're like, okay, we don't want Sports Illustrated in here anymore because the swimsuit edition's in here. Like that's what school used to be. Get rid of like the pretty girl. I mean, again, they're tastefully done. The swimsuit edition used to be tastefully done. So, but I mean, like young, horny kids, in middle school were looking at those pictures, not for good reasons. But, and the librarians and the school teachers were like, yeah, we can't have this. It's a distraction. And now, that's what we got. It's okay. You can't read it at a PTA meeting, but we can't have it in the library. And in fact, teachers are encouraging kids to check the crap out.
Yeah. Next one I have here is the ATF. And like, look. Lisa T. Boykin, Chief Diversity Officer. Now, Lisa T. Boykin, Senior Executive. This is what we were just talking about.
Yeah, good God. I mean, but again, just fire this lady. Like, I wish I could change my title on a willy-nilly, but like, I am no longer Corey, salesman at this office. I am Corey, Chief Executive Salesman at this office.
And this is probably, I think, about the last one that I have for the day, but hey, young people, and it's this, transgender, queer person
fairy
juggling dildos. Look, boner, 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 talking to the kids. And then the mom comes over, leave the kids alone. Help, I'm being genocided.
And that's the perfect cartoon representation of how the last couple of years have gone. It's like, oh, we don't want anything to do with your kids. Horse crap, you don't. Why is it you only read, again, remember that one comic where it's like, how come the goose chasing the transgender person, how come you only want to read Drag Queen Story Hour to kids? How come you don't do it at old people homes? Huh? It's because you're trying to indoctrinate the next generation. Yep. It's not, because if it truly was just innocent, you'd go to nursing homes, you'd read it at hospitals. No, we just want to go to schools. We just want to read it at public libraries to children. Because we are living out our sexual fantasies. And how dare you judge me for my sexual proclivities?
Yep. This is basically the exact same argument as this right here. Is like, I'm going to hold my breath until you say men can get pregnant. And the guy just stands there and stares at her. She is holding her breath. And then another liberal woman comes up and goes, stop it, you're killing her. That is literally the transgender argument. It's like, affirm them, say that they are what they are. And it's like, I don't have to. You're making me lie for you.
Again, I'll say this a million times, and I have said it a million times. We live in the age of affirmation. Affirm my sin. Affirm my identity. Affirm my sexual proclivities. If you don't affirm me, you're the bad guy.
Again, this is another great one right here. But without slaves back in the 1800s, without slaves, who will pick our crops? Said in 2020. But without illegal immigrants, who will pick my crops? Or do the work that I don't want to do? That's the liberal argument.
Yep. Same party, same philosophy. Nothing's changed.
Mm-hmm. Then this last one, I don't think I showed it yesterday. Superman under fire for hundreds of images surfacing of him giving a Nazi salute.
Help us.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I think that's really about all I've got for
Was there any
today.
other things at top that you wanted to show?
There was a couple, and like I said, this was like getting to the point of like you talking about Islam and like how it doesn't matter where Islam is. Islam tries to turn every place into the Middle East. So again, this is Japan. Could you imagine? This guy says he doesn't send his kids to any of the cultural stuff for Japan for religious reasons. He goes, they need to change the policies to fit my religion. It's like, could you imagine a bunch of people in Japan going to visit Japan, which is like any person who's watched anime or like becomes a weeb, whatever, wants to go visit Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you went there and everybody there was in a burqa?
Like, I thought I came to Japan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening in the UK right now. I would go to the UK to go eat fish and chips, see the London Bridge, Big Ben, all that crap like that. And like you go there and you're going to see a bunch of people in, turbans and hijabs walking around. You're like, this is not what I expected the UK to look like.
No. Again, it's amazing to me that like if we went to the Middle East, we could not demand that they change to adhere to our cultural practices and values. But if they come here, God help us, you better conform or we'll kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here, check this out. This guy talking about this, how he doesn't want his kids to affirm.
皆さんは日本の学校に通われてるんですか？そうですね、はい。私たちの子供がイスラム教が幼稚園とか学校ではクリスマスとかあとハロウィンとか節分とかいろいろそれ全部もうやらしてないんです。その日は休んでる。熱い信仰心。イスラム教はプレゼントはもう全然ないから。プレゼント欲しいな。プレゼント欲しいな。欲しい？返せ待って欲しい。やらない全然やらない。日本各地にある外国を調査ガチ〇〇シリーズ。まず大阪西淀川閑静な住宅街に突如現れるこちらのお店入ってみると店内の至る所にウルデュ語そうここはガチパキスタンお店の真向かいには大阪有数のモスク礼拝を終えたイスラム教徒がこの店になだれ込むまさに西淀川に広がるイスラム世界全く異なる文化のイスラム世界時に日本に困惑することも
So, I mean, it seemed like they were kind of ridiculing them too, which is a good thing. Like, I mean, like, Japan can ridicule other cultures, but boy, we sure can't over here. Like, imagine if we were ridiculing Islam that way.
Yeah.
Like, look at these people, and like we make like funny logos and stuff pop up. Like, but again, have some cultural pride. It's like, look, these people are foreigners; they're different, and they should adhere to our customs and practice instead of, coming over here and demanding that we conform to them. I mean, what narcissism? But I mean, again, what does Islam do? I mean, Islam, wherever it goes, it ruins every place it goes to.
Yep.
So,
and then remember, this is the last one that I have. This is the Southport monster who didn't just kill 3 white girls; he stabbed them hundreds of times. He stabbed almost a dozen girls, almost as many times, even dragging the wounds back into the center as they were fleeing so they couldn't get up. And good Lord, that is just
yeah, and remember
monstrous.
The picture they showed of this kid? The actual picture was like a childhood picture that he looked like a sweet, innocent baby angel Aladdin. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, we only heard about the 4 girls he killed. I didn't realize he stabbed that many other girls that they're not even showing their pictures.
Yeah, these are just the ones that died. Yeah, look at this. Like, let's see if I can zoom in on this. Anonymous girl. Number 1, stabbed 32 times, tried to leave, but was pulled back in and reemerged and collapsed and survived despite having a life-threatening condition. Anonymous girl 10, stabbed 8 times, managed to escape. Anonymous girl 8 years old, stabbed 4 times, managed to survive. 9-year-old, stabbed 3 times in her chest, suffered 2 fractures. Wow, managed to survive. Stabbed in the chest. Good Lord. 7-year-old was wounded in the chin and arm. Taken air ambulance. Good Lord. Had to leave her. Had to have her spleen removed. Good
Remember, everyone, Islam is a religion of peace.
Mm-hmm. Good Lord, I can't even read
that innocent baby angel Aladdin was defending himself from these poor, vicious little, British girls.
Dancing for Taylor Swift music or whatever.
God, yeah.
Monstrous.
Religion of peace, folks. Religion of peace.
Like I said, this religion of peace and the fact that this is illegal, this is immigration problem. This is the direct cause of an immigration problem.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've got a whole bunch more if there's any that you really want me to show, but I was thinking about ending the show with this one, the story about George Washington with Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Unless you've got just something else you want to talk. I guess we do this one real quick.
Yeah.
Because I love it. So, Justin Trudeau is the representation if a man sat down to pee. He really is. It's the best thing I've ever heard. Then you have Joe Biden down here. Oh, yeah? Well, I poop standing up.
Like Justin Trudeau's like, well, I was taught that I sprinkle when I tinkle too much, so I sit down to pee.
I'm going to make all bathrooms gender neutral, so all men have to sit to pee now.
He's the representation, like guy. What do guys say? It's like, hey, I gotta go take a leak, or I gotta piss. Justin Trudeau goes, I have to go tinkle, everyone. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go have a tinkle. That is the good representation of Justin Trudeau.
Oh my
soy boy Canadian Prime Minister. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Is there anything else up there that we could look at or talk about?
I'll have a look. I'll see what I can do. This is that. We had this, but we played this on the show before, if you remember.
No, we don't have to play that one again.
See what else we got. This is another Democratic Islamic counselor that has been accused of crimes.
Yeah, she was extorting money from
the city, or
she was stealing money from the city, So of course, and she's like, "Oh, you guys just don't like me because I'm black." It's like, no, lady,
we don't like you because you're a thief and a criminal. Good Lord.
So yeah.
Next, and then you sent me this one too, but this is like if the UN was a part of like
it had a home security
system. It's like, don't worry, this is exactly how the UN operates too.
Dispatching to your house a team of highly trained, unarmed observers. Their job is to watch the burglar and take notes. His every move is seen and carefully documented. Then our 192-member United Nations Home Security Council debates until everyone can agree on an appropriate response, such as economic incentives. And if that doesn't work, economic sanctions. And if that also doesn't work, strongly worded condemnations. And if nothing else works, we will be forced to invite the burglar to join the United Nations Home Security Council. United Nations Home Security. There's nothing we wouldn't do for you, but little we can. Every 15...
That is true. That is how the UN operates.
That is exactly how the UN operates. I mean, this is why
what they say. The UN is affirmative action for evil dictators.
Yes, it's affirmative action for evil countries. It's crazy.
Any of these other ones that you just really want to go over?
It's totally up to you. I mean, you can end them with any one of those stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of them are great. Oh, that's a good one.
Some trans people are preparing to flee the U.S. to seek asylum abroad. Everyone's losing it. I love it. That's good. There's some of them in here. Of course, we saw this one right here already. We've already seen that.
Yeah,
one.
Go to that Trump one.
Yes, all right. I already told my husband on January 20th, 2025, he will be sleeping next to the President of the United States.
Kamala Harris tweeted.
Oh, my God. So Trump right there. Come on in. Come on in.
Well, now there's actually two other things that we could mention, too. Kamala Harris is actually filing for divorce from her current husband.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
And allegedly, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama haven't been seen in public together since 2022 in September. So there's rumors that Barack Obama is having an affair with Jennifer Aniston. So that's some...
Now, this is all alleged.
This is all alleged. So this is the scuttlebutt. This is what's being reported on in the tabloids. So... I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, she's probably, honestly, Kamala's probably blaming her husband. Goes, if it wasn't for you and your punching a woman in the face scandal, I'd be the president right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, could be. Could be. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah. But I think we can end it on whichever one of those you want to end it on.
I'll end it with the Ben Carson one because that's so relevant to, like, schools just keep taking such great history out of our, and great lessons out of our history books.
Yeah. All right,
So,
folks.
Let me go ahead and get it to the widescreen.
Sure.
All right, there you go.
All right, everyone. So that's about all I've got for you today. It was just kind of a long meme review day, so we just wanted to kind of get through that and, show you what's going on. We haven't had a good meme review in a while, so we always like reserving Friday for that. So that's about all I've got for you. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's all we've got for you. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
There was a story that I heard you speak, and I would love for you to share it with my audience. It was the story about George Washington.
The bulletproof president?
Yeah.
You know, George Washington was a courier for General Braddock, one of the English generals during the French and Indian War. All of the couriers were killed, and Washington had 2 horses shot from beneath him, and he had 4 bullet holes in his jacket, but no flesh wounds. He had bullet fragments in his hair, no flesh wounds. Many years later, he still hadn't become president yet, but he was back in the area, and one of the Indian chiefs who had been involved was elderly at that point, near death. He said to his braves, "Take me to see this man. I must see him before I die." And when they brought him in the presence of Washington, he said, "Sir, I'm an expert marksman, and I shot you 17 times. And my men shot you, and pretty soon I told them to stop wasting their bullets. And I just wanted to meet the man who was protected by the great presence above." That story used to be in all of our history books until it became politically incorrect.
Why was it politically incorrect?
God.
I'm not liking the devil. It's getting a little annoying for me. There was a story